From CNY Central, this is CBS 5 News at 11 with Michael Benny.
Good evening. You're watching the only local newscast to bring you the biggest stories of the night and the first alert forecast right off the top. Here's meteorologist Mike Brookins.
Michael, early today we had frost concerns. We'll talk about even warmer temperatures and a little weekend rain coming up.
Thank you, Mike. Just after 11 now, these are the top 5 stories on CBS 5 News.
There would be one thing, though, I would say to older people regarding younger people, and that would be rather than say, what is that you've got on tonight, or what is that racket you're listening to, would be to take about 15 minutes a day and find out why they like the music they like or why they dress the way they do. They're not very much different than we are.
New at 11, Dick Clark's influence, always bridging what sometimes seems like quite a gap between the young and the old. That was Clark talking to Edward R. Murrow on CBS. We have extended coverage on Dick Clark just ahead. The latest on the fate of one Syracuse elementary school, Elmwood Elementary, will shut its doors in June, which will save the Syracuse School District $3 million. The decision was part of the approved $366 million spending plan. The board voted on that tonight. The budget also includes increasing spending by 9.5% and borrowing $24 million against future state aid. New video: a man who stripped naked at an airport in Portland, Oregon, says he did so as a protest against airport security screeners after he set off a metal detector. He says he stripped to prove that he wasn't wearing a bomb. John Brennan is the man. He says he was being nude but not lewd, and that his actions are protected political speech. He's charged with indecent exposure. Right now, a throat slasher is on the run after a sexual encounter that Syracuse police say started on the website Craigslist. A 30-year-old man from Fulton is recovering after police say he and the suspect first met on the internet, then had sex in a wooded area off Martin Street on the city's north side. The attacker is described as about 5'9" with a thin build and short dark hair. He was in a black jacket with the letters POW on it. If you have any information, call Syracuse police. New information tonight: stealing a family dog or a cat could eventually be a crime that lands you in prison. The bill passed in the state Senate in Albany. It would make stealing any cat or dog a felony. And if it clears more hurdles, it would be the toughest law against pet theft in the entire country, punishable by up to 4 years in prison. The bill already has strong support in the full legislature. Tonight, Hollywood is reacting to the death of Dick Clark, and the head of CBS television is reminding us all of the long list of programs we all love that Dick Clark is responsible for.
He's one of these guys who will be remembered 50 years from now, because my guess is ABC will still have New Year's Rockin' Eve on, and the Golden Globes will still be here, which he created, and the Academy of Country Music Awards, plus the American Music Awards. There are numerous things that will leave his legacy forever.
Dick Clark, who started in central New York, the last time he was here was back in 1995. The Syracuse University alum was here as part of the Carrier Dome anniversary dinner. SU Chancellor Nancy Cantor called Clark more than just an icon, but a superb guide to the tectonic shifts in American popular culture for generations. She added tonight he will be greatly missed. CBS 5's Alex Dunbar reports on how Clark is being remembered by local broadcasters.
Dick Clark's roots were right here in central New York. For now, reporting from the campus of Syracuse University, I'm Alex Dunbar.
It was back in the 1950s Dick Clark landed that weekend gig with WOLF radio before going full-time there. WOLF was located in the Onondaga Hotel in downtown, and we found this old clip promoting his show.
Hi, this is Dick Clark, and the countdown is underway. 3 more days to the Dick Clark Show. You won't want to miss our very first show. All of your favorite stars will be here in person.
Hi, gang. This is Bobby Darin.
Hi, this is Connie Stevens.
This is Paul Rankin. That's right. We'll all be here on the new Dick Clark Radio Show. 2 big hours every afternoon, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 on WOLF.
And every morning on 93Q Radio, Ted Long is one half of the Ted and Amy Morning Show. Earlier on CBS 5 at 5:30, I talked with Ted about the impact Dick Clark had on his broadcasting career.
first job in radio, one of my first jobs working on the weekends, we played Dick Clark, Rock, Roll, and Remember syndicated radio show. It would come in on these giant, big record albums, and you were supposed to throw them away after that weekend show was over. I used to take them home. I used to listen to them on my stereo at home. So, like I say, I think if you're of a certain age, you've always had Dick Clark in your life. Dick Clark.
That's an image of Dick Clark from his early days in television. He got his start at WKTV in Utica. Governor Andrew Cuomo said today he's a true New Yorker who will be remembered for his energy, youthful spirit, and passion for his work. And students at Syracuse University are focusing on his legacy. And so many of you are commenting on the CNY Central Facebook about Dick Clark, sharing your memories. It's generating comments and trips down memory lane. Nancy Barron Swan says she will miss Dick Clark. He was the youngest looking person as long as I can remember. He was always known for that. And Rebecca Baxter Turner wrote to us, he was truly the perennial teenager, and it was fun watching him in any capacity. Very nice and humble man. God bless. We invite you to leave your thoughts. We are interacting with more than 28,000 of you on the CNY Central Facebook page. Police are cracking down on drivers who blow past stopped school buses. And an Onondaga County principal is among those ticketed today. More on the crackdown coming up. Next, the top story from across the country, career ending. Some of the Secret Service agents are out amid the Colombian prostitution scandal. The latest next. And CNY Central is giving you a chance to get big discounts. Our deal right now for Northeast carpet cleaning. You'll find it right on our homepage at cnycentral.com. The top story across the country tonight comes from Washington, where there has been swift action on the part of the Secret Service in dealing with at least 3 of the agents accused of bringing international shame to the agency. Danielle Nottingham reports.
The Colombian prostitute scandal has already cost 3 Secret Service agents their jobs. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
The man who recently recanted his claims of abuse against Bernie Fine is now in prison in Maine. 23-year-old Zach Tomaselli claimed Fine sexually abused him in a Pittsburgh hotel room. Last week, CNY Central was first to report Tomaselli's admission that he made the allegations up, that he's never even met Bernie Fine. Now he's serving a 3-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to molesting a boy at a summer camp. Bernie Fine has not been charged with anything. He's denied the allegations from the start. Fine was fired by Syracuse University shortly after the first 2 alleged victims came forward. And we are 1 week away from Protecting Our Children, a special on preventing child abuse. It's next Wednesday, the 25th, from 7 to 8 o'clock. Volunteers with the McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center are going to be taking your phone calls during the program on all issues related to child abuse and prevention. And one of the stories you will see during that hour special is my interview with a convicted level 2 sex offender. The man pleaded guilty to abusing his 10-year-old adopted daughter. He mentions how parents and caregivers can spot warning signs of abuse. He also talks about how his actions groomed the child for the abuse and about the guilt he feels now.
I hate myself every day when I wake up, knowing what I've done to my daughter, not knowing whether she's going to grow up with the same issues I had, which I pray every day that she doesn't.
Again, Protecting Our Children is next Wednesday night at 7, a cooperative effort by all the broadcasters in Central New York right here on CBS 5. Coming up on CBS 5 at 11, hockey fans buzzing in Central New York. Less than 48 hours until the Calder Cup playoffs come back here. We'll hear from the Crunch next in sports.
Hiroki Kuroda looks great in the Yankees home opener. Much more of the Crunch. Fresh article up right now at CNYCentral.com. In the Crunch, they have one of the better fan bases in the AHL. So that War Memorial Arena is going to be rocking on Friday and Saturday.
Good deal. Thank you, John. To the forecast, meteorologist Mike Brookins in to tell us, well, I guess we're focused somewhat on the weekend by this point in the week.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have some precipitation to talk about then. 47 degrees. Brr. You can track that rain as it does move in towards the weekend with interactive Doppler radar that's found at cnycentral.com.
3 school district employees in Onondaga County are among those who got tickets today for passing a school bus with its red lights flashing, potentially putting kids at risk. Investigators will not name those who got the tickets. We do know they all work for schools in Onondaga County, and one of them is a school principal. CBS 5's Jessica Kane has more on the crackdown.
Parents trust buses to take their children to school safely. Jessica Kane reporting.
We have the top stories and the forecast in the Nightcap next. The Late Show is next. Here's the Nightcap before we leave you, and here's meteorologist Mike Brookins.
Michael, looks like a dry, decent day for tomorrow. Pretty lousy by next Monday. Michael.
Thank you, Mike. Syracuse Elementary School is shutting for good after this school year. Tonight, the Syracuse City School Board voted to close the underperforming Elmwood Elementary School. The decision was part of the approved budget for the next school year. The budget also includes the very controversial move of borrowing $24 million against future state aid to prevent more job cuts. Right now, a throat slasher is on the run after Syracuse police say he met another man for sex off Craigslist and attacked him. A 30-year-old Fulton man is recovering after police say he had the sexual encounter with the suspect in a wooded area off Martin Street on the city's north side. The slasher, described as about 5'9", a thin build with short dark hair. He was in a black jacket with the letters POW on it. Syracuse police are hoping for tips. And people around the country tonight are remembering the legendary Dick Clark. The 82-year-old was famous the world over for his hit shows, American Bandstand, and the annual New Year's Eve celebration. President Obama says Clark reshaped the television landscape. Clark got his start in broadcasting right here in Central New York at WKTV in Utica. Thanks for watching CBS 5 News at 11 tonight. I'm Michael Benny. For updates overnight or anytime, you'll always find what's happening now on our website, cnycentral.com. Good night.
From CNY Central, this is CBS 5 News at 11 with Michael Benny.
Good evening. You're watching the only local newscast to bring you the biggest stories of the night and the first alert forecast right off the top. Here's meteorologist Mike Brookins.
Hey, Michael, it was nice to see that sunshine right at the end. Showers developing by the afternoon. Michael?
Thank you, Mike. At 11 o'clock, these are the top 5 stories on CBS 5 News. New at 11, some of the calls were to report suspected child abuse. More than 100 people dialed a special number tonight as the broadcasters of Central New York teamed up to shed new light and offer new perspective on stopping child abuse. The 1-hour special, Protecting Our Children, aired earlier tonight here on CBS 5. Alex Dunbar has the latest on its outcome just ahead. News Sense 6, the struggling Postal Service may avoid immediate bankruptcy. The Senate just passed a bill that would give the agency $11 billion to delay closing 100 post offices and ending Saturday delivery. The money would also pay off debt and reduce the costs of offering retirement incentives to about 100,000 workers. Postal Service employees say the bill won't go far enough to curb the agency's financial outlook. Looking ahead, the town of Clay is considering allowing giant retailer Walmart to expand its walls even further. The current store on Route 31 near the Great Northern Mall is the subject of this. Some neighbors are unhappy about the potential expansion, though. We'll get more from Caitlin Nuclo about what the town is considering to soothe traffic concerns. New information on the exit of a local company and a lot of jobs. 108 people will likely lose their jobs next year when Clear Edge Filtration shuts down 2 local facilities, one in Skaneateles Falls, the other in Moravia. The manufacturing company is moving its process to Oklahoma. The local workers will be offered the chance to relocate. The latest tonight on Syracuse Crunch hockey. The Crunch fans were hoping for another win. It did not happen tonight. The Crunch fell to St. John's 5-1 in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference playoff series. For the season for the Crunch to continue, the team needs to win the next 2 games. We have highlights coming up in sports. In just the first hour of our coverage, starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon, the special hotline that was set up to answer your questions on child abuse took 1 call every minute. Protecting our children was the main focus of Central New York broadcasters tonight. During the 7 o'clock hour, no matter which station you turn to, 3, 5, 6, 9, YNN, it was all the same. An unprecedented simulcast of a critical show. If you missed it, you can see it in 3 separate YouTube clips posted right now at cnycentral.com. And CBS 5's Alex Dunbar has the story.
As soon as the lines opened up, volunteers had a steady stream of callers with questions. For now, reporting from the WCNY studios in Liverpool, I'm Alex Dunbar.
Tonight, police are looking for help in identifying the man they say flashed a young girl. This happened Monday at the Salina Public Library on Belmont Street. Police say the suspect was wearing a maroon hoodie and rectangular reading glasses with metal rims. He was last seen leaving the library in a white or light gray, newer model Toyota. Anyone with information on who this guy is asked to call sheriff's deputies in Onondaga County. The town of Clay may be seeing one of its major retail stores get even bigger. Walmart wants to turn its current store into a super center on Route 31 near the Great Northern Mall. But the possible expansion has some neighbors worried about traffic. CBS 5's Caitlin Nuclo is on that story.
The Town of Clay Planning Board has spent months going over site plans. Reporting in the Town of Clay tonight, I'm Caitlin Nuclo.
And just days after 8 swan eggs were destroyed in Manlius, a man has turned himself in the case. Police arrested 23-year-old Ross Leone, who already had 2 prior drunk driving arrests, according to reports. Police say Leone took the eggs and smashed them on a sidewalk and against a wall. He's charged with criminal mischief, trespassing, and interfering with wildlife. The swan egg incident has sparked talk about creating tougher laws against animal cruelty.
We've seen so much animal cruelty lately, and I think there should be tougher laws. And I think all of this publicity in this event and in several others in the recent past are really making people more aware, and I think that there should be tougher laws. I think something more should be done.
Police have not ruled out the possibility that others may have been involved in this, the taking and the destroying of those swan eggs. Prosecutors weigh in on a report that implicates jailers in the death of an inmate at the Onondaga County Justice Center. Jim Kenyon investigates. Next, the top story from across the country, the parents of a missing Arizona girl speaking out for the first time about her disappearance. And CNY Central is giving you a chance to get big discounts. Our deal right now for the Cayuga Wine Trail. And you'll find it right on the homepage at cnycentral.com. The top story across the country tonight comes from Arizona, where the parents of a 6-year-old girl who police believe may have been abducted from her bedroom are speaking out, and they are begging for their child back. Teresa Garcia reports.
The distraught parents of Isabel Mercedes Celis took no questions from the media. Teresa Garcia, CBS News.
More local news now. A man charged in what police are calling a brutal and heinous murder in Syracuse pleaded not guilty today. 41-year-old Lewis Swift is charged with second-degree murder in the death of 27-year-old Carnell Marshall. Marshall's body was found April 14th in a vacant lot behind a tire store. Police say he'd been savagely beaten, bludgeoned with a wooden board, and even burned with cigarettes. Another man, 27-year-old Gregory Ware, has already been charged with second-degree murder. A Syracuse pizza shop is back open after a car crash forced it to close earlier this week. It was a crash in spectacular fashion. The Domino's off Teal Avenue in Lyncourt is back open. On Monday, a woman came to pick up a pizza when a worker says she slammed her car deep into the building, all the way into the back of the store. Amazingly, no one was hurt in that crash. Syracuse hospitals are hoping more people step up in life or death situations. Organ transplant waiting lists have grown by 10% just in central New York in the last year. Now leaders are announcing a new awareness campaign, hopefully to boost organ donor registration. Today, families of organ donors told their emotional stories.
We received a phone call from the medical examiner's office asking if we wanted to have Elena's tissue donated. And without hesitation, I knew in her death there could be life for someone else.
Patients on the organ transplant waiting list could be on it for more than 4 years. Krause, St. Joe's, and the VA Medical Center are all part of this program. Right now, about 17% of New Yorkers are organ donors. Coming up on CBS 5 at 11, the Crunch in Game 3 action tonight at St. John's. Sports Director John Evanson has the highlights coming up next.
The Syracuse Crunch were far.
That's some hardware.
Yes, indeed. Woo. And Stewart is off to play with Team USA again, and then she reports to UConn in June, she tells me. So exciting months ahead.
I mean, it's great for her. It's also great for those other teammates to have played with her. You know what I mean?
They are, you know, they're family forever.
They sure
Amazing
are.
accomplishment.
Thank you, John. To the weather forecast right now, First Alert meteorologist Mike Brookins. It feels like we are so close to breaking this trend we've been in.
Yeah, we are going to, I think. Check any rain or snow towards Friday with interactive Doppler radar at cnycentral.com.
Thank you, Mike. Tomorrow at 5 and 6 o'clock right here, I hope you'll join us for a critical look at drowsy driving. There were more than 1,100 deadly accidents in New York State in 2010 blamed on that. Kasten Hirsch's son, Jordan, died in a crash in 2010. On his way home from Binghamton University, the car drifted off the road and crashed into trees. He believes his son fell asleep at the wheel.
Everybody who's has lost a child, or not just a child, just anybody that they love, they ask themselves, what could I have done? And I could have taught them a little bit better about the dangers of fatigue driving. I wish I would have done that. I never did.
Join us tomorrow at 5 and 6 to hear more about this story and what you can do to prevent drowsy driving. There are calls for major change tonight after a scathing report out this week that finds the death of an inmate at the Onondaga County Justice Center is the fault of the jailers there. And there's also criticism of the county medical examiner's office. CBS 5's Jim Kenyon investigates.
The State Commission of Correction report declares the death of Raul Panett a homicide. Jim Kenyon reporting.
We have the top stories in the forecast in the nightcap when we come back. The Late Show starts in 4 minutes. Here's the nightcap before we go. Here's Mike Brookins.
And Michael, we are in store for a cold night tonight. But Michael.
Thank you, Mike. Investigators say this man exposed himself to a young girl, and they want to find him. It happened Monday at the Salina Public Library on Belmont Street. He's described as a white man. He was in a maroon hoodie. He left in a white or light gray Toyota. If you have any information on this guy, call sheriff's deputies in Onondaga County. All of the Central New York broadcasters came together tonight in a collaborative one-hour special. We called it Protecting Our Children. More than 100 of you called in tonight with questions about everything dealing with child abuse. If you missed our special presentation, we have it for you, easy to watch in 3 separate YouTube clips. That's posted right now. It's the top story at cnycentral.com. A great night of television, and I was proud to be a part of it. Thanks for watching CBS 5 News at 11 tonight. I'm Michael Benny. For updates overnight or anytime, you'll always find what's happening now at cnycentral.com. Good night.